everybody. I hope everybody's doing great. I am doing a tutorial this time on how to do buttercream roses. I have people ask me constantly for the past few years to do one, and I hadn't had the chance to make one. So finally I was able to sit down and do one for you guys. Now keep in mind that roses are not easy flowers to make, so you're gonna have to sit and practice them. The more you do them, the easier they become. If you get frustrated, just take a break and start another day, because it might happen that you get frustrated and you think that you cannot do them, but it's all a matter of practice. It'll click in your head the more you do it. So try more than one time and keep at it until you get them, and then you'll be able to do them really fast. I'm gonna show you this beautiful rose gum paste bouquet. Look at that. These are 5-inch in diameter. They're made gum paste. I teach how to make petal by petal roses in my DVD, but I made this and I just wanted to share with you because I am in love with this bouquet, and I just wanted to show you how big it is. It is humongous. This would be part of something that I will tell you later more about it when I have all the facts. So for now, just enjoy that, and I'll tell you later. It's kind of a little bit of a surprise. So for now, let's get started with the tutorial. I hope you enjoy. Our nail already marked with our nickel size, and then we have our bag. We want to put tip number 12, and it's a round tip, and basically what you want to do is tighten the bag as much as you can, and then you place it in between your two fingers. I have a tutorial on my website on how to make the bag. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna fill this circle with buttercream, and the way you do that basically is maintaining your bag straight, and then place your tip, and I'm gonna show you as close as I can. Place your tip like a 1/4 of an inch away from the base, and basically you want to start pressing right there, and you're gonna maintain the tip at that spot. And I'm gonna show you first that I'm staying on the same spot, basically raising just a tad, and then I'm gonna stop right there so you can see the circle. You see? So you wanna reach that nickel size. This is not a perfect science. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but you wanna get as close as that. And after you do that, you just keep going and keep moving up until you have what would be a shape of a kiss. Now, the shape of this will change depending on your tip. Again, this is not a perfect science. This could be smaller, taller. You can cut it eventually. But basically, the size would be, this is tip 104. This is how it looks. And basically is the size of your tip 1.5 times. So here is 1 time and then a half. So that's the way you know how tall you can make this. You can use a kiss, a regular chocolate kiss, to make this, and then you can make your flower on top of them. That's another way of doing it. And there's a lot of ways you can do them. Some people use tip number 104 to do them too. The good thing about this is it's just a basic way to get started, so it's easy, and then eventually you can practice and move to other ways of doing them. Some people even use skewers to make their roses. Let's start this once again. You press, stay at the same level, press, 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 press until it reaches the nickel. Then you start moving up, moving up, moving up. And then you stop the flow and pull. and it gives you a shape of a kiss. So now we're moving to the second tip. We're using tip 104 on this rose, and this is how it looks. It has a fat part and it has a thin part. We want the fat part going down and the thin going up. If you think about it, remember that your petals are very thin at the top. So if you keep that in mind, that roses are very delicate and thin at the top, you kind of will understand why you want that at the top. So always keep that in mind. If you find that your flower is looking kind of fat, it might be that your tip is upside down. So always check that. That's very important. Now, basically, the first layer, you have your little kiss-shaped mountain, and basically you want that tip to go at the same angle as this. You don't want it straight, at the same angle. Now, there's a motion that you need to practice to. You need this, the nail, to go to the outside. You need to make sure that you know how to roll it to the outside of your finger. You see, I'm going from here to the outside. That's the way I'm gonna be able to cover the whole top of my flower. The other motion that we're gonna be doing is with the bag, we're gonna be making kind of like a C motion. We're going like a C, up and down. And then we're gonna be pressing on our bag. So that's why roses are a bit on the difficult side, because you're doing 3 motions at the same time. Going to the outside, moving towards you, and then pressing on your bag. Now, first layer, we're gonna go around the top. We're just gonna make sure that our icing is sticking to the very top first, and we're gonna start pressing, and we're gonna make our nail roll to the outside as we do this. Remember, keep that angle. That angle is very important because it's gonna make a very small hole at the top. Now, press your buttercream, go around, and then when you reach the other side, you're gonna go down. Now, if you see, let's see if the camera, there, you see that dot in the center? That's why you need that angle. You need that hole to be small, especially if you're using a chocolate kiss. You don't want to see inside. So the smaller you can get that, the better. We're now moving to our second layer. Remember, again, always make sure that your tip is clean. One thing, because it will take the buttercream away from you. Your fat part should be going down. Keep that always in mind. And this time, instead of making the tip at that angle, you want to move it straight. Basically, first layer, you're going to be like this. On your second layer, you're going to bring it up. You're going to see more this side of your wrist. First layer and then second layer. Basically, how it works is the more you open your hand, the more your flower will open. So on every layer that you do, you want to keep opening that flower, which means you will see more the wrist on your hand. It's a whole wrist motion that you gotta get used to it. And I'm gonna do 3 petals. I'm gonna maintain the tip straight this time, and I'm gonna go a little bit higher than my center, because the center in the roses are supposed to be a little bit inside. I'm gonna make 3 petals in the shape of a C. 1, there is my C. You see that? The next one, you're gonna start in the middle of that one. Always clean your tip. So you're gonna start in the middle of this and do another C and bring it to the next part. In the middle, press, 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 and bring it to the side. You see the C? You see the center? You see it's deeper? And then you're gonna do one more. Always making those C's. That's the second layer. Now you're ready to do your third layer, which is 5 petals. How do you know? Every time you start in the middle of one petal and finish on the middle of the next petal, it will give you 5 petals if you follow that rule. So you don't even have to count, you just basically need to make sure you go from the middle of one to the middle of the next one. You can open your wrist a little bit more so your flower will open. And remember, from the middle of one to the middle of the next one. And there's your third layer. Now keep in mind that when you're making roses, your buttercream will move on you. You don't want a soft buttercream. You need a buttercream that has a perfect consistency. If it's too hard, it's gonna break on the top of the petals. If it's too soft, it will melt. So if you see your flower melting, your buttercream is too soft. Now, you can make them in royal icing and save them for later. And royal icing actually is a little bit easier to work because you can make the centers ahead and then finish the flower, and that way they won't move as much around. Now we're ready to do the last layer, which is 7 petals. Okay, so now for the last layer, you're gonna start again in this middle of one petal and finish on the next one. And you're gonna do 7. Remember that the way you move, always you have to turn your nail. If you go back all the time, every time I'm moving, I am turning my nail. So check that. That's something that you need to practice. And I'm going to show you how to take this out of the nail. I have some scissors here. These scissors are for this. They are very thin. They're from the Wilton company and I like them because they're really thin and they're made out of plastic and they don't stick as much. So what you do basically is put the scissors, don't close them completely. Grab your flower and you will have the rest of the base if you did it too big, or if you don't want that much, you can take it away and then you can place it on your cake. And then you close in here. Usually I use a spatula to help me. And then I take my scissors away. My dummy's moving. But basically, that's the way you place them. Now, every time that you use this, you have to make sure to clean them, because if you have all that icing in there for the next one, they tend to stick. You can use regular scissors, but make sure they're on the thinner side because it's harder to work with thicker ones. They make holes in the cake easier. Okay, so basically what you do once again is you grab it, don't close all the way, then you lift your flower, and then once you put it in your cake, you close, and with the help of a spatula, you pull your scissors away. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Remember, practice, practice, practice is key to make buttercream roses. Then after you learn the steps, it becomes really, really easy. It's just the same with gum-based roses. They need to be practiced a few times, and eventually things will click, and once you get used to them, you'll pop them real easy. So keep at it, practice. If you get frustrated, stop, take a break, and start another day or another time. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. See you next time. Ta-ta!